Shalom family. This is another video that I wanted to put out, and basically what it is I'm a little bit just had a couple of thoughts about women, and the fact that a lot of them have gone off the rails, and there's a lot of finger pointing as to whose fault it is, and the fact that but there's one or two things that's come to realization for me in the last, I'm in my 40s, and it's taken me a long time to realize certain things, and some of the help I've come across is one out of the scriptures, to a couple of YouTube characters as well, probably Zabak, who's Hebrew Israelite in New York, and who else? Mad Voodoo Man, who's got a channel on YouTube and a channel on Blog Talk Radio, and basically he's talking about being a man in today's society, and and the fact that probably some of the reasons why our women are off the rails that they are is that we suck up to them. In the States they call it kind of simping, where basically you buy shit for them just to get some of the coochie. And I'll probably admit that I have in the past, years ago, I have been guilty of that. I know a lot of men ain't gonna probably admit that, and to a certain extent they might buy certain shit for themselves just to mogul on certain women. Now what I've realised is there's the other side of the coin of not just buying stuff to get in their coochie, but also when they are in the wrong, when they're doing stuff that is disgraceful, out of order, or just plain disgusting, that we as black men, we say nothing. And those that do say something, they aren't necessarily, they speak in general to black women, but what I've noticed in my life is that when I come across it now, I speak up and I say something. I may not actually have any power to enforce it, right? But the fact that I speak up and say I spot this bullshit, correct this bullshit because this bullshit is wrong, there's so much power in the fact that I'm drawing attention to that bullshit that it does make a difference. And at the time when obviously at the time what I used to run away from was the fact that I didn't want the confrontation, and so I let things slide because I don't want confrontation. But you have to, if you got a crooked branch, you got to try and straighten it out. A plant needs pruning and all them type of things. And certain people, they need to know that you're not going to stand for their bullshit, and the fact that you're going to open up your mouth and you're going to draw attention to anything that's not right, and you'll be considered differently. I've done this. I have the same sort of situation with other women, and what I've noticed is that at the time that I do draw attention to the bullshit that might be said, and I get resistance, they'll fight me, argue with me. Who the hell do you think you are to tell me rah rah rah? You're no man that can tell me nothing. And what I noticed is that before I would be arguing backwards and forwards about it, and yeah, it would take a lot of toll. But what I do is now is I say it, I point it out, I say what I say, disgusting. They resist at the time. I let them do that. Doesn't really matter now because it's out there. I've pointed it out. I keep my mouth shut. And then they've resisted in that. But later on down the road, I see a difference. I see a change. And I haven't come to the conclusion yet whether it's a conscious or a subconscious change, but you know what? That doesn't even matter. The fact is, it's made a difference. And so what I say, this is a message to all black men. What I say is, when your females are out of order, you draw attention to it and you point it out. There's nothing to argue about. You just tell them as it is, and you leave them to rant and rave about it, and you move on, and that's it. And you leave it a time, you know, I don't know, a week, a month, or whatever. If it happens again, you draw attention again to show that you are paying attention. You don't argue about it, and you move on. And obviously, if it keeps going on, then obviously you're going to have to make an important decision and not compromise your morals or your values. So therefore, if she then still constantly resists what you're saying, you give her an ultimatum, and you jet out of there, you cut loose, you know, and you show that you're serious. But the bottom line is as well is that the female has to know to a certain extent that if necessary, not that you would do at a drop of a hat, but if necessary, you know, to preserve your character or your principles, then if you want, that you were prepared to cut loose at a drop of a hat. You're not that side of you is not for compromising. You will cut loose if things aren't brought into order, and that's the way that you would lead. That's the way you would lead, is the fact that you're uncompromising, and if it don't go your way, then it's the highway. You know, don't be unreasonable and then you just do it at the drop of a hat, but you give them a bit of time, and if it doesn't go your way, then it's the highway, and you have to stick to your guns, and that's how you lead. You know, that's how you lead. I wish I knew this years ago. I would have saved myself many years of anguish, but as they say, better late than never. So, message out there to the man them, yeah, you see the bullshit, you point it out each and every time, right? Okay, 2, 3 times. After the 3rd time, ultimatum. If it happens again, I'm jetting, I'm out of here. It happens, you're gone. And this is the way that we'll bring our women back into line. It's the will. But for every man that doesn't go along with this, and is simping and bowing down and licking their foot bottom and sucking out the jam between their toes and worshipping the ground that they walk on and calling them queen and all that, meanwhile when they're slapping you in your face and miseducating your kids and stuff like that, you're the dangerous ones, you're the enemies, and you're the ones that we need to have to stop, you know. But if all men follow this example, then there'll be less simps around for the women to choose from. They choose the simps simply because they want to be leader of the household, they want to be in control, you know. That's what they want, but that's not what they're made for. And we have to reclaim back what was ours. It's that simple. If you want to be able to continue and you want to be able to rise up above the nations, you have to reclaim back what's yours. Anyway, that's enough from me, and I'm out of here. Shalom, peace and love.